Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I am playing Vintage, and this is at the request of Patreon subscriber Robin. Robin has me playing their take on Vintage Elves. This is the classic Glimpse of Nature, Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel combo deck. Well, green creatures tap each other for mana, play more green creatures, which tap for more mana, you draw cards along the way, and eventually you win somehow. This is an established legacy archetype. It won the extended Pro Tour when Nettle Sentinel was first printed. Like, this deck has a long history, and I have seen it in Vintage before, but not for a very long time. Probably like 2009, 2010 is the last time I saw this. There was a long period of time where Shops was the best deck, and Elves just couldn't realistically beat Shops. Shops had better creatures than the Elf deck. You could never combo through their 4 Lodestone Golems, 4 Sphere of Resistance, Trinisphere, etc. But most of those cards are restricted now, and now Elves has Force of Vigor to go with it, which really helps that sort of situation. So we're back. Elves is on the menu. The combo, as I described, play Glimpse of Nature, cast Elves, cast more Elves until you have enough resources accumulated to win somehow. And Robin has decided to go with Brain Freeze as their combo win con, or you could simply Time Walk into a lethal attack with Allosaurus Shepherd. There's a small blue splash here for the win cons, Brain Freeze, Time Walk. Of course, Ancestral Recall's got to be in the party. And these aren't really blue cards, but I guess you could tap mana for them. The other chosen splash color is black, and that's to facilitate Lurrus out of the sideboard. After reviewing this deck, Lurrus is somebody who's already on my watch list because Lurrus costs us Craterhoof Behemoth. Lurrus also makes you need a pretty significant commitment to black mana. Like, there is Mox Jet, Black Lotus, 2 Bayous, and Bojuka Bog, plus the Birchlore Rangers in this deck that can make black, which is kind of a lot to ask for just Lurrus. So I'm going to keep an eye on how much work Lurrus actually does in this deck. I think, like, the way I would probably rebuild this deck is with a red splash for Underworld Breach. Because we're already playing Black Lotus, Brain Freeze. I think some red cards could be cool, open up some red sideboard options, and also unlock Craterhoof Behemoth if we want it. But I'm going to play this bug version with Lurrus and the blue cards in this league. The other big thing that Legacy doesn't get is Skullclamp. Well, pay 1 mana, kill one of your creatures to draw 2 cards. Pretty freaking good. Basically every card in the deck is an X1, except for Nettle Sentinel and Collector Oof. But if Collector Oof's in play, you can't Skullclamp anyway. That's a way to keep velocity going. That is a reason to have Lurrus, because you can eat a creature, then replay that creature, and keep the party going. The win con with this deck in the Vintage format, because we don't have much interaction, is to just go hard. Like, we're going to try to be comboing all the time. Allosaurus Shepherd helps beat counter spells. The sideboard is basically just completely stacked against decks that are faster than us. I put 2 Force of Vigors in the main. The original list had like 1 Flusterstorm, but there's 1 source of blue in the deck and 1 Flusterstorm, but no way to really find it. I think 2 Force of Vigors is going to go farther for us. I have the other 2 in the sideboard. The original list had Soul Guide Lantern as the graveyard hate, which I understand is probably to combo with Lurrus, but I think Ravenous Trap's going to do better for you. I wish we could play Leyline, but we can't because of Lurrus, so that's another point of friction with Lurrus as the companion for the deck. If we were on the red splash with Breach, or some different build that doesn't need to play Lurrus, we could play Leylines. and Mindbreak Trap for the truly degenerate stuff. And that's the deck. Let's go see if we can out-elf the vintage format. I am on the play in round number 1. I've revealed my Lurrus. I'm going to mulligan this hand that has no mana sources. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go again. Okay, I can keep this one. Elves is known pretty well for having pretty bad mana. Like the deck mulligans a lot, even in Legacy. Deck plays like 18 lands and it's like 4 Cradles, 2 Dried Arbors, so only 12 of them actually make mana on turn 1. Like it's a pretty bad scene, but that's okay. We're gonna make this work. I'm gonna get Bayou to get started on my black mana for Lurrus and lead on Shepherd. I just want to make sure if we're playing against a blue deck or a Chalice deck, they get no action off of me here. Uh-oh, Mox Sapphire. Their deck has power in it. We're in trouble. Honestly, if I draw a Glimpse or a Skullclamp, I can just go to town right where we are. First, they could just cast Oko here and turn my Shepherd into something different. Hey, that's what happened. Making a food. Okay, so they're going to try to steal from me or just make a 3/3 to block. Mental misstep. All right, that was not helpful yet. How do I want to play this turn? I can play Birchler Ranger, Quirion Ranger, and then put Lurrus in my hand. Is that even good? Do I want to let them trade? I could attack Oko so they don't get to trade their food for free. Do I care about that? All good questions. Okay, here's Birchler Ranger. Here's Quirion Ranger. And then I'm going to put Lurrus in hand. I could bounce my forest, attack Oko. Yeah, I think that's actually good. Untap the creature that can attack, pick up my forest. I don't want them to be able to steal one of my creatures for basically free. Turn 1 Oko is pretty good though. Wasteland, that's rough. I've been wasted. Deathrite Shaman. Do I want to save this for a... No, I'm just going to misstep it because that does mess with my Lurrus. We've made a 3/3. My beats. I can cast Lurrus here, but it doesn't do anything. I can go black, tap 2, black, bounce my thing, untap one of the elves, make another black, cast Lurrus. But Lurrus is counterable, regrettably. So if I don't or if I cast Lurrus, they just hit me with the Oko. All right, this one is drifting out of control quickly. I need a Glimpse or a Skullclamp. They can just hang out behind their Oko. Hey, okay, how do I do this? If I guess I lead on Skullclamp and see what happens, if it even resolves. Okay, Skullclamp's in play now. I'm gonna go black and make black, untap an elf by bouncing a forest, and then I'm gonna equip Quirion Ranger and draw 2. They could just kill Skullclamp or Quirion Ranger in response. This deck plays a lot of removal. Oh no, my only basic's in my hand. Life is shit. Yeah, there's one basic in the deck, and it's already in my hand. Okay. Now I think this Skullclamp, well, if I don't use it, I lose it. Is using it actually good? They're down to 2 cards in hand. I might be able to just overwhelm them with... I'm going to equip the Shepherd. I think that's worse than the Ranger here by a lot. Okay, now we're in business. I should have led on Shepherd, shouldn't I? I'm such an idiot. All right, I got excited and jammed my combo, but if I had played the Shepherd, then that Daze just rots in their hand. Okay. They probably have to Elk Skullclamp here, though, if they don't have a different answer to it. Okay, or they can just steal my Ranger. I'm to find out if Skullclamp can solo a game. There's the Shepherd I should have played last turn. I'm just going to play out my Elves, actually. Like, just divinationing, putting Heritage Druid straight into the graveyard, I don't think is the play. Like, any path to win this game is going to start with having material in play at the start of a turn, and then I'll have to find the best way to use that material, but I can't win from, like, 1 mana, no board. Okay, they're attacking with the Birchler Ranger, which is interesting because they know I have Lurrus in hand, and I kind of want that card in my graveyard. I'll live without it. It seems pretty obvious, but Black Lotus is a great draw here. What are you working with? I'm at 8, which is dangerous because they do have Oko bearing down Endurance and Trophy. Okay, so they have the Trophy. I'm probably not really beating that. Now, let's see if I can get the Trophy onto the stack. If they Trophy, it means they don't Endurance, which is pretty nice. But I think I'm basically dead anyway. I guess I have to clamp. Hope for the best here. Glimpse and Shep. Pass the turn. I am at 1 on board. 1 is enough life to do stuff. They should probably Elk my Heritage Druid just to make sure that I don't combo. I hope they don't, though. Oh, they drew Leovold. Now I'm definitely just fucking dead. I was dead to this Oko anyway. They probably would have just traded food for Heritage Druid, making sure I have nothing to start the turn with, but finding the glimpse on the turn that they top deck Leovold. Don't really have a plan through that one. Okay, I'm dead. Okay, so the creature deck's a little soft to turn 1 Oko. Good to know. In the sideboard, I want my Pithing Needles here. The rest of these cards don't really matter. I don't need Collector Oof for this matchup, and I don't need Force of Vigor for this matchup. Which one is worse, though? Force of Vigor could take them off to Moxen or whatever, but the Collector Oof turns off my Skullclamp, turns off my Moxen. Yeah, I think I need that more than they do. Oh, I have to cut 2 things. Yeah, I brought in 3 needles. Never mind. I cut them all, bring in 3 needles. I can name Oko, name Deathrite Shaman, name Wasteland. Yeah, needle's pretty good here. I don't actually know if Vintage Bug is playing Plague Engineer these days. This is another no mana hand. Hello, Black Lotus. All right, I'm going to put the second Glimpse on the bottom, I think. Like, my plan is land, Allosaurus Shepherd. Yeah, I'm going to bottom this backup Glimpse. Guess I should lead on Lotus and see if they counter it. All right, Lotus resolved. That's good news. Okay, I'm going to get the basic, because I'm going to crop rotate it this turn probably anyway. Now I have a choice of, do I want to Glimpse first and try to get paid for my Allosaurus Shepherd, or do I want to make sure Glimpse pays me? And I think I want to make sure the Glimpse pays me. Green, green, green. Glimpse of Nature. Metal Sentinel. Dummy Heritage Druid. Backup Glimpse. Not really what I wanted. This didn't go as hard as I was hoping. Yeah, maybe I needed to lead on Glimpse and just didn't have the luxury. Crop Rotation can get Cradle right now. Is that actually even good? Plays pretty hard into Wasteland. I think we got to do what we got to do. Maybe I just rotate into a fetch land. No, that's ridiculous. All right, here's Cradle. That was less exciting than I hoped. There's Strip Mine. All right. Shit. I got so excited, and apparently for no reason. I needed my Glimpse to hit a creature, any creature at all. Well, fetch land gets us back into this game. Ooh, a Cradle. Are you helpful? I guess I should put it into play at least. Yeah, if they... Unfortunately, 1 mana short of Wishing for Lurrus. All right, that's not a Wasteland. A DT, okay. That's probably going to get Ancestral, or if they do have a Plague Engineer, you can get that. All right, deck. Even like a creature, like Heritage Druid is a banger here. Bindhorn Elves, we take those. Untap my thing. Bindhorn Elves, let's keep this party going. Bayou does not keep the party going. Play my land, and then I'll get in for my attack. Well, let's see what they tutored for. Is there a Plague Engineer in the list? Did they find a Wasteland to take me off Cradle? Are they just Ancestraling to pull ahead? They probed. They see what I'm working with over here. Sapphire. Toxic Deluge for 2. Yeah, that's pretty good. Still interested in Fetchland. Okay. They also had Ancestral. All right. It's impossible to know what they wished for because they had all of them. Every single time. Yeah, impossible to know what they wished for because they had both of the cards that are amazing. I'm going to let them have the Ponder. I think that countering a Deathrite Shaman or something will be better. Obviously, Mental Misstep arrived. That's why they cast it before they let me draw. That was the correct time to cast that. Well, my opponent has 7 cards in hand and just missed a land drop, so that's horrific. So we know they have 7 spells over there. Endurance in the end step. Yep, targeting themselves. That's interesting. I'm a Lurrus deck. They do not respect my graveyard. They bottom the Preordain. Maybe all their cards are bad. What do we think? What are the chances? And Brainstorm. All right. Look at this blue deck doing blue deck stuff while I'm just a green deck drawing cards off the top of the deck. Oko. Okay. Oh. Ooh. They're going to tease me with this. Ancestral Recall target me. They're currently tapped out. I have misstep for their misstep. Oh. Don't have any recourse for a Force of Will. Okay. I'm dead. Next round. Bug is known for being super interactive and being able to pick apart strategies. Like, we're kind of hoping for vintage matchups where they're just trying to goldfish. Like, I imagine Bug is among the tougher matchups that we could play against. But, alright, on to the next round. I'm on the draw with a hand that has its mana set up. I'm going to try keeping this, which doesn't look like a vintage hand, which is probably a fair criticism of it. But as we saw in the previous round, mulling to 5 because I couldn't have any mana is also pretty bad. Alright, the additional mana source is not what I wanted. There is 1 Dryad Arbor in the deck, and I'm going to fetch for it because it does go off with Quirion Ranger. Seem to be playing in some sort of Urza Saga deck. Force of Vigor would be a great draw. Going to fetch for the Arbor in the end step. Then we're going to draw Glimpse and win the game. Right. Heritage Druid. Not quite Glimpse, but how much mana can I get this turn? It's kind of a lot. Okay, going to play Nettle Sentinel, Cradle, Ranger, Druid. They forced that. Okay. Alright, I'm not going to get Lurrus in my hand this turn. That's okay. They're going to make a construct, they're going to make another construct, and then probably win the game somehow with their vintage cards. Every permanent they have right now, except for the Saga itself, is an artifact. That's pretty rough. The good news is it seems like Collector Oof and Force of Vigor, cards that I have 6 total copies of, plus the 3 Green Sun Zeniths, so I have like 9 of those things. Seems like they'd be pretty crushing here. Right, opponent did not make a second construct. Don't need it. Just got Sensei Stop. Oh, yikes. Yeah, this mental misstep looking pretty embarrassing right now. Versus Bobble. Are they just gonna 20-shot me with this construct right now? Spinning top mid-turn is generally pretty good news for me. Means they're out of things to do from their hand. I'm gonna take 9 from this construct. Can't go into chump block mode now. God. They're drawing with top. They're not done. They found Time Walk. Bathing Needle. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna misstep that. I know they have a top on top of their deck. They named Abandon Hope. I literally have activated abilities in play, and they're like not interested. Oh, in my 4 card hand with 3 lands, their Bobble did see my mental misstep. I'm gonna misstep this. There's already lethal on board. Might as well stop that where I can. Manifold Key. Oh, did they bait me? Ah, that can't be blocked. Yeah, they did. Okay. GG's. Yeah, they saw the misstep. I don't know if they would have set that up anyway, but yeah, wow. Shithoused. Welcome to Vintage Elves. Force of Vigor is coming in. Collector Oof coming in. I'm not sure if I want Needles. Like, they clearly are going to have activated abilities in this deck. Not sure where the cuts are. And I don't think Bajuka Bog is important in this matchup. In boarding out more lands isn't exciting, but gotta cut something. I could cut the crop rotations. Misstep, they are going to have Ancestral. They have the keys of various varieties. Yeah, I'm looking for 4 cuts here. I'm going to cut one of the Skullclamps because Collector Oof is pretty essential to my plan this round. I can't cut too many because I still need a functional deck. Collector Oof beatdown is real. I can freeze out a deck like this where they just can't do anything, the 2 points from Oofs really do add up. Oh, that was only 3 cards in, not 4. Perfect. All right, this is my plan. The start I'm looking for is land, Allosaurus Shepherd, Black Lotus, Green Sun Zenith for Oof. I don't ask for much. Oh, well, that's literally what the fuck I just drew. I'll keep. I didn't say 1 time, so this doesn't count. I still have it. Let's see if they counter my Lotus. That's the first test. All right, they didn't. Oof is in my hand already. Like, I could glimpse Oof and save my Zenith, or I could just have a second Oof. Make green, green, green. I could Oof, rotate, and then is there a 1-drop that I would want a Zenith for? I think I want to glimpse Oof, actually. Just get that extra card. Then, all right, here we go. How's your deck do against Collector Oof? Not well, apparently. Yeah, that was a good hand. All right, nothing's changing about my sideboard plan. This is what I have to work with. Back in we go. Reveal my Lurrus. I have an Oof, but no green mana. I am actually going to keep this hand. I'm on the draw. I have Probe for another redraw. And I have one of my very few Moxen. This hand has the potential. All right, got there immediately. Do you have the counter? They do have Force of Will and Flusterstorm. Oh, and I just drew Force of Vigor. Just getting better. Yeah, so I can Oof this turn. They have to force it. And then I can Zenith for Oof next turn. And I have Force of Vigor in between if I want it. Force Pitching Fluster. Yep. Those are the cards that were in their hand. This is nice. Mana Crypt. Sure. They're going to die to that eventually. Now I can Zenith for the other Oof. They pitch the Flusterstorm. They have 1 mystery card in their hand. Yeah, they have to make their construct in response here, or at least float the mana. Oof's in play now. And I'm going to Force of Vigor the Saga and the construct. Or no, I don't even need to do that. I can wait until combat. They took 3 damage. Like, do I want to let them tutor, I guess is the question. What are they going to tutor for? There is a Pithing Needle in the deck. I'm actually just going to beat up the construct and the Saga right now before they get to tutor. Okay, here we are. Collector Oof's in play. There's that island. I can put Lurrus in my hand, miles away from casting that. There's 0 black sources in play. Oh, I have a white source. I have a Caracas. Never mind. I'm halfway there. Manifold Key. I'm not going to counter that because it doesn't matter. I'm going to save this for like Ancestral Recall or something. Virtual Arranger. Yep. Anything that adds to my board right now is good. And now any elf casts Lurrus. I can hard cast Mental Misstep, save 2 life. Not that I think that's super important. Forest is not helpful here. Back with my creatures. Maybe I should have played Virtual Arranger as a morph just to get extra damage on the board. They've been winning a lot of their flips. I'm not a fan. They can tutor here. They didn't get a construct out of this, which I'm a big fan of. They could get Needle and turn off something. I don't know what artifact they would get that ignores Collector Oof. Turns out nothing. Collector Oof too strong. Vintage Elves on the board, or at least Vintage Green hates cards. Bow, 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 bow. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. That last round really shows what I was talking about at the end of the bug matchup, where I was talking about how we just sort of want to be ships in the night and be faster or more disruptive than other vintage decks, and bug in round 1 is highly interactive. And that deck we played against last round is kind of a glass cannon, it seems. They just rely so hard on their artifacts, and then we had Oofs and Force of Vigors to just really crush them. So that's more the kind of matchup we're looking for. Anyway, here's round 3. I'm on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. It's got some fast mana, some disruption. It does need a payoff, but I will give the deck some faith to find it. Emerald. Oh my god, is this the mirror? No. Different elf. Got it. That's a Bayou. What do I want to do with all of this information? I can Emerald, Shepherd, Bayou, Ranger. If I do that, I have to pitch Druid to Force of Vigor, but I don't think I'm gonna need Force of Vigor against this Deathrite Shaman deck. Just don't think that's really gonna be the plan. Allosaurus Shep on the stack. Cast my Birchler Ranger. I could also cast Heritage Druid right now and just give up on Force of Vigor and be set up for next turn. That makes Lurrus better, but it makes Glimpse worse. I'm going to go for it. Yeah, casting this makes sense because Allosaurus Shepherd wants material in play, and that is the payoff that I already have. Okay, yeah, I'm into this. I can wish for and cast Lurrus this turn. Like tap 3 for Heritage Druid, then Karakas, Bayou, Emerald, cast the Lurrus. That is, if it's what I want to be doing, which I'm not super convinced of. Like jamming my Lurrus into removal, and it's the only spell in my deck they can counter right now. So it's a pretty powerful thing to do. So let's do it. Lurrus is in my hand. Lurrus is in play, or on the stack at least. Now Skullclamp gets pretty dope. So Deathrite does disrupt it pretty well. Bummer. That was a good draw. They're fetching. If this is Assassin's Trophy, my basic is still in the deck, so at least I get to ramp. Oh, your 4-color stuff. Preordain. Cradle's a great draw because it lets me just mush my creature sideways. If I untap with Lurrus, I'll have Karakas to protect it after that point. Force of Vigor has 2 targets now. Dashed Rag. I am not going to spend my Lurrus to block this Ragavan. It can connect. There's not a lot of devastating things that it can steal from me. Yeah, I took Bajuka Bog. Didn't want to draw that anyway. Thanks, Ragavan. Okay, time to draw a Cradle. They let me untap, so I can pick up my Lurrus if I want it now. 1, 2, 3... So I can go Elf, 1, 2, 3, or cast Force of Vigor, like hard cast it. Oh my god, they're just conceding. Wow, their hand must really suck, because I'm not really doing anything here. Okay. That was weird. I wonder if they had the removal spell and that was a tilt scoop. They forgot about Karakas. Whatever. This looks like a deck that's going to have Planeswalkers in it, and we've seen Deathrite Shaman, so I think Pithing Needle is going to do better than Force of Vigor and Collector Oof in this matchup. That seems like a pretty cleanly mapped sideboard option for these fair decks that don't super care about their artifacts. In we go. This one lander is a little scary against this deck that probably has Wasteland in it, but I'm definitely going to keep. This is the reason you put 1 Dryad Arbor in your deck, so you can Zenith for it in situations like this. And a Zenith for 0. I'm not going to goof around with trying to make it uncounterable over 2 turns with Shepherd, as Arbor plus Ranger, like this is a lot of mana that you can play on 2 lands with. Probing me. Okay, now they know exactly how soft I am to removing either of these things. I do have the basic though, so they can't trophy. Oh shit. That's a nightmare. Let's hope they draw a card and don't kill my Arbor. Of course they did. Yeah, that was definitely the right play. Time to draw a land. Swing for the fences here. Pick up this. This is like the way you operate on a low land count out of Elves. You use your Rangers. Gonna have to needle this Wren and hope that this stays in play. Yikes. Alright. Well, the repeatable source of 1 damage is a serious one. Beating Wren and 6 on the draw seems pretty unlikely to occur. I considered picking up my land in case they had Wasteland, but if they didn't have it, then I would rather play it like this. So I don't think this game is winnable. Black Lotus would be good. Alright, yeah. I'm just gonna concede here. The one chance I had here was to draw another land and pressure the Wren. Like, do you want a plus to get your Wasteland back, or do you want to continue managing my material on board and was unable to do that turn. Okay. I had the answer. I had the needle. I was just mana tight and had to play into that daze. I think I win that game on the play, though. Like, if I get a turn to develop with my Arbor and Ranger before the Wren starts killing everything. This hand doesn't actually have any green mana, despite 1, 2, 3, 4 of these 7 cards creating green mana. It's not actually a thing that I have access to. I got a mulligan this. Yep, keep. I'm gonna send, I think, Bojuka Bog to the bottom. And Bog does have text. Oh no, I'm gonna send Dryad Arbor to the bottom, and then I'm gonna Zenith for that Arbor off Tropical Island. Is that the play, or do I just Ancestral? I think I need to develop my board. Do I want the Arbor? No, I want to save the Zenith. I'm gonna just play Fyndhorn Elves. Mental misstep. Please don't wasteland me. I'm out of blue sources. I'm out of mana sources. Okay, that's not a wasteland. We take those. Alpine Moon. All right, did they name Cradle with this? Or probably, right? It's a weird card to have in your deck. Okay, so they named Tropical Island. So they turned it from a 2-color land into a 5-color land. Do they know what Alpine Moon does? That was weird. But I'm going to do this now and hope it resolves. Hell yeah. It's right in there. Yeah, that Alpine Moon was not good. They seem to be F6'd. Oh my god. They have Force in their hand. Why didn't they counter my Ancestral Recall? I don't know what's happening right now. All right. I have to play this Bojuka Bog. Maybe they'll Alpine Moon it. I can crop rotate my Bojuka Bog into Cradle next turn. They get to Dak. Oh, I guess Dak was their only game plan, really. That's why they didn't force. They must have thought Alpine Moon is just like a targeted Blood Moon, but it's not. It turns... Oh god, they have multiple Alpine Moons in this deck? Okay. Weird. How do I get my permanents into play here? It's actually going to be really hard. Like, maybe I have to... Like, I can't crop rotate this turn. And I can crop rotate. It's just not going to be very good. So colorless mana isn't doing anything for me either. If I play Birchel or Ranger this turn, next turn I can play Nettle Sentinel, and yeah, this is actually, this Bojuka Bog is killing me right now. I'm actually going to need a lead on Nettle Sentinel, because that's less important to the plan than Birchel or Ranger is, and if they have a removal spell, I'd prefer that to be the thing that dies. Please cast another Alpine Moon, name Bojuka Bog. They are at the magical threshold where if they end up with Hull Breacher or Notion Thief in play, this deck is just going to obliterate me. It is, if that is a thing that their deck does. Which isn't necessarily true. It could just be 4-color value with Dak to fuel graveyard stuff. Treasure Cruise, yep. Dak has successfully fueled graveyard stuff. Okay, let's go. Glimpse of Nature. Tempting. Gonna have to do some stuff. I think I should attack first, though. Is there any reason not to attack first? Like, I don't have Crater Hoof in the deck. All right, I'm just gonna... I can't think of a reason to attack first or to not attack first. I'm not removing Dak. Okay, Moment of Truth. If this crop rotation resolves, we're going to have a pretty good turn. If it doesn't, we might just be dead. I did get to play around Daze. All right, it's in there. Gaia's Cradle. Really glad that they didn't name a good land with this Alpine Moon. And then Zenith is the card in my deck that can use... All right, I'm going to use this colorless mana floating to Zenith for... And then that gets me my Heritage Druid uncounterable, and then I can start glimpsing. Allosaurus Shepherd's in play. Here's Heritage Druid. I'm going to draw at least a few cards here. 3 green, Glimpse, Heritage Druid, draw for that. Second Nettle Sentinel. We're doing it, fam. Skullclamp, are you kidding? We're going. Draw another card here. Okay, now we get into potentially challenging mode. See if Skullclamp resolves. All right, Skullclamp's in there. I don't need 3 Heritage Druids. Clamp in. Oh, yeah. And they're out of here. G freaking G. Full combo. Thank you, Skullclamp. I am on the play in the 4th round with this Heartbreaker. Like, a green source sets this off so fast. So I can go Gataxian Probe, Caracas, Skullclamp, if nothing else comes together. I'm going to keep this. Power over consistency, right? This is vintage. I'm just going to draw a fetch land off of this Gataxian Probe, and it's all fine. Don't worry about it. I was wrong. Okay. So we're playing against another bug deck of some kind, and they have a pretty quick Narset. Turn 2 Narset, it seems. Well, need a green source, but here's my Skullclamp. Narset makes that pretty embarrassing. The good news is my opponent definitely doesn't think I'm on Elves right now. Just like Gataxian Probe, white source, Skullclamp. Bad news is I'm very dead if I don't get this Ancestral in this deck this turn. Shit. I should probably just concede, right? Nah, I'll put the Gaia's Cradle into play. They still don't really know what I'm doing, but I am going to lose to this Narset. This hand was based on the power over over consistency, and my power is going to be completely invalidated by... Maybe they'll die to their own Bob. I got to give them that opportunity. Deathrite Shaman. Interesting. Are they going to go Deathrite Goyf instead of... Yeah, they're not jamming the Narset. They're giving me a chance. They don't realize what I'm doing. They think I'm just some, like, dopey creature deck. Don't realize I am a busted combo deck. Come on, deck. Green source. Shit, should have been more specific. All right, I'm dead. I've seen enough. Yeah, I knew that was a shitter when I kept it, but come on, Ancestral Recall, get Taxian Probe. Like, the actual busted vintage cards, I don't play very many of them, and half of them were in my hand. All right. Kind of threw that one in the trash, though. I will own up to that. I'm going to do the thing I've been doing against the fair decks of take out the Artifact Disruption, bring in the Needles, and in we go. I don't think they know what we're doing, other than there are probably creatures in my deck between the Clamp and the Cradle. Clearly, I'm expecting to put creatures into play. This hand is much better. It actually can do stuff. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to hold back the Needle. I don't know what I need to name necessarily yet. Like, Oko is probably the safe one in the blind, but I'm going to just kind of look for a Turbo Lurrus here. Emerald can cast Findhorn Elves, and I can leave up my fetch land to crop rotate if I need to crop rotate. I'm going to fetch Dryad Arbor if nothing else happens. Right, now they know what I have. Thanks, Gitaxian Probe. What a good magic card that is. Misty Rainforest Pass seems to be the play here. They know what I have, and they know it's not actually anything. So it's probably a good sign that they don't have anything worth doing. Or they're just lulling me into the Toxic Deluge. Uh-oh. Got something. It's like an upkeep Fatal Push. If so, why would they do that? Oh, no, they're going to Ancestral. They just didn't want to discard cards. Should I be impressed by that? Yeah, probably. But 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put Lurrus in my hand. And I'm going to attack with one of these things. I'm going to leave back the other in case I need to crop rotate. Like, if they're a Wasteland deck, I want to be able to rotate my Cradle into a different Cradle. Maybe I should have skipped the Cradle and just played Karakas this turn, because then I can actually cast Lurrus next turn. Yeah, if I just skip my attack, I can put Lurrus in hand, still represent crop rotation, and actually cast Lurrus next turn. Uh-oh, Black Lotus. Look at all these vintage cards they're casting. This is cheating. Leovold. Okay, Karakas is in my hand. Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf. My crop rotation doesn't do anything right now. Ranger Danger. Then I can bounce Leovold. They get to draw a card. I probably want to do that end step. You know, 1, 2, 3, Morph Creature. 2/2 is better than 1/1 here. Do I want to just like Needle Oko right now? Yeah, probably. Oko Thief of Crowns has been named. They're going to get in for their 7 here. I'm not going to bounce Leovold now, because if I bounce it, they draw a card and they just replay it, then everything was for nothing. Ponder. I'm going to have to find a window to punch through the combo, I think. I guess if I draw Black Lotus and I can sneak Lurrus in without tapping my Karakas, that's a pretty cool engine as well. Oh, Time Walk. Sure. Maybe I just lose. Yep, nothing to do here. Really glad I didn't bounce Leovold early. Just going to go to 5 on this attack. If they have like Snapcaster Time Walk, I can crop rotate for Bog. So they get to draw a card when Bog targets them off Leovold. I'd have to Karakas Leovold first. Yuck. All right. They really don't want me to draw cards. The good news is I can just attack this Narset, and then she's dead. Oh no, a land. They found Brainstorm off Narset and then had a land. The Doctor. End of turn. Bounce Leovold. We're looking for a miracle here. I go to my turn and draw a card. That is not the miracle I was looking for. If I attack Narset with everything, I can get her to 1 if they lose their Shaman. I can get her to dead if they block a different thing. And I can Lurrus replay the thing. Okay, I'm going to attack Narset with everything. 2/2. Coming in clutch. If they have just Force Will in their hand, I'm dead, but I'm dead to that anyway. Oh, right. That one can't be replayed off Lurrus. Well played, opponent. Fetch for a Bayou. Black, white, green. I could rotate for a different black source and leave up my Karakas. I don't think that's the play, though. Lurrus is in play. Not convinced it matters, but it's here. If they can just kill Lurrus, I lose. If they just, like, wait 2 turns, I could also lose. Drain with Deathrite twice. Guess I'm required to block here. Maybe rotating to leave up Karakas was... What is my path to win this game at this point? It's got to be, like, bounce Leovold, draw Skullclamp, and do stuff. It's not good. Bug is proving to be a really difficult matchup again, with all their different points of interaction, their different ways to squeeze, their fast clock. This is a souped-up Legacy deck. Like, the Bug and, like, the Xerox decks in general are all souped-up Legacy decks. They're not really, like, vintage decks. Snapcaster... For Time Walk, I'm going to Bajuka Bog them. Crop rotation, sacking. Guess I have to sack Caracas, huh? And then I just lose to Leovold, but I'm dead anyway. Bog you. Like, I need my green sources. I need my Cradle to have any chance of this game, but I can't really beat Leovold anyway. So yeah, I'm dead. Ooh, they didn't cast Leovold. With my floating green, I am gonna morph my Rangers, because if I win this game, it's gonna be because I have extra mana with this elf. It's not gonna be because I attacked for 2. Axiom Probe, show me what you got. How dead am I? Oh, I drew Skullclamp. Oh, they didn't cast that Leovold. They also had Strip Mine. Could have taken out my Cradle and didn't. Let's hope that I can actually punish on this. Seems unlikely, but I'm going for it. Let's do the thing. Oh, probably should have tapped Cradle first, though. Maybe not. Okay, nope. Made the right call. Played perfectly. Unpunished. Green, green. Quarian Ranger. Makes another green. And tap these 2 for green. In green. And I should float green. Untap Birchler Ranger on the way out here. Because I'm sacking Quarian Ranger to Skullclamp. And I want it to do what it's going to do on the way through here. Another Ranger, another Sentinel. This is good. Right, this backup Sentinel. Now all my 1-drops are free. We are gaining ground, and we know their hand is not helpful. Green, green, Ranger, untap the Sentinels. Do I think Cradle's going to do better than 4 mana this turn? I have to tap the 2 Sentinels for green, and then tap the 2 Rangers for green, and then I'm going to use one of the Rangers for Skullclamp, feed it to Skullclamp. I think I can still tap Cradle for more than 4 this turn, if I keep drawing creatures. Is the party over? Right, now I'm going to tap Cradle, because I have another one. Well, Skullclamp, let's keep it going here. Gonna need a different route now. Zenith, you have to be good, right? You can get Heritage Druid, make some extra mana, then draw some cards. Is Heritage Druid my best get here? Yes, I believe it is. That makes the most mana on the way through. Zenith for 1, get Heritage Druid, make 3, draw 2 more cards, hope they're good. Skullclamp has been fucked. Good thing this card's banned in Legacy. Ranger is gonna get some untaps. That doesn't make mana, but it does generate untaps. Draw 2 more. Heritage D. Okay, that's another draw. Make 3. Cast Nettle Sentinel. Make 3 more. Now I am on Trip Sentinel. If I draw another Skullclamp, actually, I can start sacking Sentinels and be like completely insane. Okay, here we go. Keep the 1-drops flowing. Ooh, that's a Shep and a Ranger. Untap these things. Yes. I haven't made my land drop yet. I am still holding out hope that I could draw Time Walk. I think I should have eaten the Ranger first in case I find Glimpse off of this Shepherd. Or for the Shepherd. Yeah, that wasn't great. Do I want to Cradle now? I don't think so. Eat my Ranger. Draw 2 more. Crop rotation. No! Alright. I have to eat the Shepherd. I think it's now or never for the second Cradle. Make 5 more. Eat the Shepherd. Heritage Druid and the second Clamp. We're here. We're here. We're doing it. Here's my deck. It's in play. And then I can cast Skullclamp, the second one. I can cast Crop Rotation, turning Cradle into Cradle, which also untaps my Sentinels. There's another Cradle. And then Mox Jet, I can use that to... That's one of the few good uses of colorless mana in the deck right now. Make sure I float my mana before I eat this thing. Just draw 4. Wow. Clamp, 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 clamp. Give them the clamps. All right, now I just have food forever. We should be able to win this game. Virtual Ranger is a blue source. I think I want to clamp the Shepherd now. I have another one, and I'm like, if I find Glimpse, this just all happens so much faster. Shepherd again, and make 3. Maybe I should save the Skullclamp at this point, because Time Walk becomes lethal with Shepherd right away. I'm going to clamp my redundant Heritage Druid, though. Just looking for blue cards here. There's Time Walk. All right, now we win. Or opponent. Should have cast Leovold, it seems. And blue off of these Nettle Sentinels. Cast Time Walk. Now you're dead. Breathing Needle. Name Deathrite Shaman. Make sure you're really not doing anything over there. And then Zenith for something. I don't think it matters. Maybe like another Shepherd. Well, there are only a few creatures left in my deck. I'll grab the third Nettle Sentinel. And then let me just make sure this is lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elves. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. So 4 are going to get through. They're going to be 5/5s. Yeah, that's enough. I'm going to Skullclamp 2 of my 2/2s. And then I'm going to go to my Time Walk turn. I could Brain Freeze them, but I could also just win the game without showing them that I'm a Brain Freeze deck. Oh, there's the Brain Freeze, literally on top of the deck. All my creatures are huge, and I'm going to attack them for lethal damage. Bang! Elf combo! And you thought we were losing that one. We should have. We definitely should have. Holy of old. Just waiting in hand. Never do anything. Okay. We got away with on that one. This game 3 is borrowed time. Let's try to convert it. Same deck. It's not getting better. Let's go. On the draw. And this is kind of a banger. I'm going to keep it. It at least has a plan. It can beat a Leovold because I have the Caracas. Oh, you have Library. I'm going to do my best to outmuscle this Library start. I'm going to get Bayou and Quarian Ranger to start. I want to use the Ranger to protect my Bayou from potential Wasteland shenanigans. If they counter the Ranger, then they're out of the Library, like forever. Like, Library on the play is a lot worse than Library on the draw. Like, it encourages some weird play patterns. If I draw Cradle, I can actually just win this turn. All right, come on, Cradle. Gaia's Cradle right off the top. Let's do it. Not Gaia's Cradle. It is a green source, though, which I'm pretty excited about. I can play Shep, and I'm going to get the Tropical Island, Heritage Druid. Then I'm going to Glimpse. I'm going to draw at least one card here before it's too late. With the Leovolds and the Narsets and all the shit that they have in their deck, I'm going to just get my value Glimpse right now while I can. Cool. Got a nice little divination out of it. And that's my turn. Let's see if they have Plague Engineer or Toxic Deluge or whatever. I can attack for 10 next turn by tapping 3 Elves and 3 lands to activate Shep. Oh, it's actually more than that because I have 2 Rangers. I'm actually representing lethal right now. Okay. All right, I have 2 Sheps, so I don't care about that. Okay, so they're dead. Yeah, they don't see the lethal line here. They would need like Snuff Out or something. Like, can't even think of what would be helpful here. All right, here's Caracas. Here's Mox Sapphire. I'm not sure Sapphire does anything here, but okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make my Elves 5/5s. Ranger, untap this. I'm attacking for 20. Ranger, untap this. And in we go. GG's. Elf combo. Fucking woof. Bang. That, I hope everyone stuck around this long. I know a lot of people don't watch this far into the league, but those of you who stuck around, that was a treat. On to the next round. I'm on the draw in the final round. The positive record is locked. We're 3-1 right now. We're playing for 4-1. This is insane. And I'm keeping this hand. I have the Ranger, Shep, Nettle Sentinel set up. Even have Time Walk here if I want it. I'm going to keep this hand. Against some sort of a Volcanic Island Preordain strategy. Opponent mulled to 6. Bottom both of those cards. You love to see it. I hope I draw a land. That would let me lead on Shepherd and just get set up. I can Time Walk, but does that even do anything? Like, do I care? It's nice that I can fetch Bayou now without any concerns. I could Zenith for 1. I think my Time Walk can be better spent than this. I could Zenith for a Nettle Sentinel, and then definitely going to use 2 mana this turn. It's just, do I want to Time Walk? If I had a land drop ready, I might Time Walk. I'm going to Zenith. Get Bayou. Zenith for Nettle Sentinel just sets up so much. Or I could get Quarian Ranger. That might be better. Yeah, that guarantees the mana that I need to make the next couple turns function. Plays around Wasteland, which my hand is currently really bad against. Okay, that's fine. Shit, that's not fine. Fuck. All right, need to draw a forest. We're in trouble. Well, that was bad. Maybe I should make it a habit of just always picking up my land if my Ranger's about to die, because that's the second time in this league where I was like, yeah, I'll just let it die, and then they also had Wasteland. Ponder Shuffled. Oh, Black Lotus. That's a good card. Can I draw mine? Force of Vigor. And that's not bad. Do I just zap their Lotus here? I think I'll probably be able to do better eventually. Oh, you're just like Blue-Red Delver. Now I regret not casting the Force of Vigor because I'm going to have to go to discard anyway. I'm going to discard the Force. I just don't think that that's what this matchup's going to be about. Another Channeler. These off-color lands and Moxen, like the Caracas, the Bajuka Bog, and the Sapphire have all been like kind of medium bad in this league. Jeez. I don't think Green Sun Zenith's ever going to happen. We're down to 2 cards in their hand. This game's going to end pretty quickly, though. Definitely discarding Zenith. Pretty terrifying that they're just representing Hardcast Force of Will on top of everything else that's going wrong right now. Dig Through Time or Treasure Cruise is also just a game breaker. Wow, exactly enough cards in their graveyard to cast a giant Murktide and have Delirium. Okay, I need Black Lotus right now. That is the card that might do anything this game. That's not it. 679. All right. Yep. Just got pinched. I did part of what I could to play around Wasteland, but I didn't fully commit to it. Like, I think if I prioritize, like, now that I know what I'm playing against too, like, this is just blue-red Delver. I don't really have any plan for this at all. I can bring in Needles and name Wasteland, I guess. Yeah, like, Oof doesn't really do anything. I guess Oof. No, I think that Needle is better than Oof. My artifacts are probably more important than theirs. All right, this is what I'm going to do. That was brutal. I value mana stability here. This is kind of heartbreaking because the Dryad Arbor's in my hand with this Zenith start. I do have 2 mana, though. I can Zenith for Ranger. I meant Quirion Ranger, but Birchler Ranger might actually be better. So if they have the that same start again. But they can't have the same start because I'm on the play, sucker. Do I want to get Shep? No, I need to get Birchler Ranger. Okay, I'm investing in the future. I'm playing to win here. Uh-oh. Now they know what I've got. That sucks. They know exactly what they need to plan around. Sapphire. That's a good card. 3 or D. Listen to me saying, like, they can't have that same start as if this isn't vintage. They could totally have had, like, Mox Bolt to waste you. They did top bottom that Preordain. There's a card in their hand that they actually want. Ragavan. Okay. Totally fine with that creature. Okay. Glimpse. Okay. What do I want to do with this information? I'm going to play Dryad Arbor. And unfortunately, Zenith for 0 is not a line because my Arbor is right there. I could play Sentinel. They did just pitch a Daze. All right. I am going to play the Sentinel. Hope they don't daze me. I am not going to attack into this Ragavan, and I don't think I'm going to block it either. I'm just going to let it hit me. Fuck. Okay. Well, my little game of inches here. I was doing my best to play Legacy. Like, my opponent's just on Blue-Red Delver. I'm on Elves. We're both playing Legacy, but they have Ancestral Recall, and I don't. Turn 2 Murktide Regent for the almost the max. 7/7. I'm not going to block this. A Rag hits. Exiled Guy's Cradle. That wasn't super helpful anyway. I'd like to draw a creature. The treasure casting Bolt could be a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, that's dead. I think that was the worst target for Bolt, but it was still pretty effective. Yeah, I can green mana. Oh, green out of this thing. And then Zenith for 1. Tap Nettle Sentinel. Yes. I think I have to get Shepherd here. Yeah, if I want to actually win this game, Shepherd's going to be involved. Get Shepherd, and then fetch for my Tropical Island. And 1, 2, 3, put Lurrus in hand. Just gonna have to take a beat here. Get hit for 9. Ragavan triggers again. Dead to Time Walk. Always dead to Time Walk. Time Walk is so good in aggressive decks. Like, holy crap. They took my Mox Sapphire? Are you kidding me? I have so few good cards for them. Why couldn't they take Green Sun Zenith? They're scrolling for a blue spell. They can't get Time Walk. Can't get Gush. Yeah, that's a good one. Gush has been cast. 7 cards in their hand. Bolted my Shep. All right. It's looking bad, team. Oh, they're still doing stuff. That Ragavan treasure can still cast Time Walk. Cruise your daddy. Wow. Treasure Cruise, growing Murktide Regent. We don't have that interaction in Legacy. Right, I'm getting a turn. Not that I have high hopes against their 7 cards in hand. I have to Glimpse to untap my creature. Basically what has to happen here is Lurrus has to draw, like, the Glimpse trigger off of Lurrus has to draw Gaia's Cradle, and Lurrus has to resolve. Okay, so we draw Cradle, Lurrus resolves, start casting Sheps out of the graveyard, or we just die. All right, yeah. Lost this game. Weren't going to get there anyway. All right, GG's. That was tough. The vintage shell is really good for modern blue-red tempo, it turns out. 3-1 with Elves, though. This deck was sweet. I think that my thoughts about Lurrus were accurate. I did not cast a single thing out of the graveyard once during this league. I frequently had Lurrus in hand or was able to put it into play, but then my graveyard was just like mono lands, which Lurrus seems like it's win more. Like you could see worlds where like you Skullclamp something, it dies, you replay it, you clamp it again, and like you get into this grindy situation. But that's just not what happened in any of these games. And I don't know if the vintage format necessarily lends itself to that sort of game in general. I think I would want to make that change I described at the beginning of cut your black sources, get rid of Lurrus, stop trying to do that, and play Underworld Breach in some capacity. I think this infrastructure is there to really pivot onto Breach. Just have a second combo kill. Maybe keep the black mana. Like, you could play Demonic or Vampiric Tutors in this deck. Maybe that's better than some of this main deck hate. Like, you could just be a broken vintage combo deck and not just a souped up legacy deck. Like, there's a lot of ways you could go with this list, and that's pretty exciting. I'm actually a little disappointed with myself that I didn't think of Demonic Tutor during the deck tech. I was busy like tuning up the sideboard and stuff and figuring out what hate we could fit in the main deck, but I didn't really think about how to really lean into this black mana that we have anyway for Lurrus. So if you need to play Lurrus, I think that we should have the truly broken tutors in the deck as well. Maybe they are not exclusive either. Like, Breach is a Lurrus card. Like, you can play Breach with Lurrus. We could turn this into, like, I think the crop rotation Bajuka Bog probably belongs on the sideboard. Put an actual green land in place here. Maybe a third Bayou. Or no, that would have to be the Taiga, right? If we're going to play Breach. And then turn the 2 main deck Force of Vigors into, like, Demonic Tutor and Breach. And this deck is already a lot more powerful if you just do that. Yeah, there's more to this shell. This is in Robin's original list, did most of the work. I think I improved it with my choices, but I think there's a lot more that could be done if you really want to go full vintage with this. And that's really cool to me. Someone, if you work on this deck some more, maybe Robin, hit me up in the Patreon Discord if you push this into the Demonic Tutor Underworld Breach space. I think that's a really cool way to take this deck. And I hope that somebody puts the work into that or donates to me to have me do it. I'll do it. It's just YouTube members and Patreon subscribers. I play decks for them. So one of you, if you want to ask me to do that, let's do it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Robin, for submitting this deck. This was a ton of fun, positive record in the league, and a lot of lessons learned, a lot of room for improvement. This deck has a lot more space where it could grow. Really cool stuff. Thank you so much for sharing it. Everyone remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want me to play your deck, or if you want to ask me to play this deck again, whatever, hit up that Patreon or YouTube membership situation. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.